morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Health Discourse with Sakshi and Sushant. So, good morning, Sushant. How are you today?
Good morning, very well.
So, today our topic of discussion is going to be something about oral health, right? So, Sushant, these days I have seen that halitosis is something of a is becoming very popular, and it is a problem among a lot of individuals. So, could you shed some light on this subject, that what exactly is halitosis and what are the symptoms and what kind of problems it could further create in an individual's body?
Okay, so before that, you have to first understand that, for last few years we have been listening a lot about microbiome and mostly gut microbiome, right? And what we miss out that the second largest diverse ecosystem inside our body is in the mouth after gut. And in our mouth, teeth, saliva, subgingival, everywhere we have, around 700 different species, right? Making around 100 billion microbiome ecosystem, and they not only impact our oral health but also our systemic health, right? Overall health. And whenever we go to a dentist, whether it is tooth decay, whether it is gum issue or pain or probably even bad breath, right? We generally try to mask the problem, right? Without because there have been none of the dentists have been working actually on understanding the oral microbiome, right? And again, halitosis is what we call as bad breath, and we generally it is really linked to our social life also because you would not like if you're going out with someone or going for a meeting, probably you should have this odorous smell from your mouth, right? And then that has a social implication, but also it has a huge, wide health implication as well. So it's not only about eating onion and garlic, which causes bad breath, right? So again, a bad breath is a connection of certain microbes in the mouth, right? Producing pro-inflammatory metabolites, right? As a result of a lot of food they are eating, right? Or the leftovers of the food inside your mouth, right? So these have an implication in creating, in causing bad breath, causing systemic halitosis, right? And you may be surprised to know that some of the foods which may cause bad breath include eggs, shrimp, right? Cruciferous vegetables, right? Broccoli, okay, soy, right? Sometimes fermented foods. So how does these things happen? Is essentially what happens is that there's certain bacteria, right? And if people who who are dealing with certain existing health condition may recognize these names, such as H. pylori. Again, we know H. pylori is linked with your stomach infection, linked with your acid reflux, GERD issues, right? So this is one of the bacteria. This is an oral bacteria found in the mouth, right? Which I'm sure a lot of people do not know about it, right? And then another thing is P. gingivalis. We know it causes gum disease, periodontal disease, and it has been found that people who have gum disease or periodontal disease also have halitosis, right? So, and similarly, Fusobacterium nitridum, again, this is a bacteria found in mouth which is said to not only cause oral health issues but also increases for IBD and colon cancer, right? So these are some of the bacteria which are involved in the production of bad breath. So some of the metabolites which our body produces includes oral sulfides. So if you are consuming too much of cruciferous vegetables or such as broccoli, right, uh, or foods which are high in sulfides, right, glucosinates. So probably these some of the microbes in the mouth could convert these into hydrogen sulfide, which causes bad breath. Similarly, there's another thing called methane mercaptan, which is again we're consuming too much of methane or food which are high in methionine or food high in cysteine amino acids, and these could produce methyl mercaptan. Similarly, methionine, right, again is another metabolite released by the oral microbiome which causes halitosis, right? Then polyamines, right? So if you're consuming too much of soy, uh, too much of a lot of these tryptophan and other amino acids such as lysine, arginine, right? So these could be converted into polyamines, which again causes bad breath. So they then we have ammonia, right? Ammonia, we all know glutamine is a byproduct of glutamine and other amino acids are amino acids, right? So these could also actually, cause bad breath. So these are multiple things which comes in play. And again, these is not something which has to be, just considered trivial issue and not addressing or probably just thinking, okay, this is fine, so there are multiple issues. One is obviously eating these foods, right, which have a wide issue because these are the bacteria like Physiodium nucleatum, H. pylori and P. gingivalis. All these are bacteria which produces these harmful odorous metabolites, right? Again, these bacteria are also linked. So people who have halitosis also linked with development of irritable bowel syndrome, again linked to Physiobacterium nucleatum. So there's a wide deep-rooted connection. Similarly, H. pylori is involved in production of certain bad bacterial metabolites, which is again connected with GERD and acid reflux issues, right? Stomach infection issues, right? So if you have bad breath and you're thinking it's only onion or probably garlic, probably you have to deep dive there. It generally refers to the imbalance in your biology, right? And probably there's a wide deep rooted connection with other systemic health issues as I mentioned about IBD and stomach infections and sort of GERD, right? So again, this has an wide impact, right? If we are just masking the problem, right? So ultimately to understand your functions, downstream functions of your oral microbiome, how they're interacting with various molecules in different foods and what they are producing, how these byproducts are impacting your physiology.
Well, apparently, what happens is when someone has a bad breath, they either go for some gums that I'm not sure whether we call it lozenges or something, right? And then mouthwash is something which people usually resort to, right? So, do you think that these are going to work? Because that is like an instant solution for that, right?
Mm.
So, do
So
you think this works?
mouthwash is a complete disaster, it does the same thing what antibiotic does to your gut, right? So if someone is using mouthwash, right, if you have read the marketing line in mouthwash, it says we kill 99.9% of the germs, right? So essentially, when you drink mouthwash, right, when you gulp mouthwash, probably it changes the pH level of your mouth, right? It is aimed at killing the microbes in our mouth, and not only the bad ones, the good ones as well. So it doesn't come with a name, right? It kills a lot of microbiome, right, in the mouth. It imbalances the oral microbiome, it is linked to, it suppresses the function of the microbe which produces nitric oxide, right? Again, nitric oxide, we know that it is connected with onset and progression of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, erectile dysfunction, cardiovascular disease, brain related issues, right? So, so essentially, when you're taking mouthwash, it is changing your mouth pH level, making it more acidic, or elevating the level of lactate and glucose, right? And which actually have a negative effect, right? It triggers a wave of systemic health issues. So if you want to get rid of bad breath and you're adopting a approach such as taking mouthwashes, probably you are inviting trouble for your heart health, for your metabolic health, for your sexual health, right? So it is important to mouthwashes are complete no, you should not take them, right? It is completely obnoxious to actually refer to uh, such ways to just mask your bad breath, right? But again, it is going to come up, right? And again, so it is you don't consider bad breath a smaller affair or a small thing or a trivial issue which will go just by taking chewing gum or mouthwashes, right? It has a wider impact on your overall health, right? As I mentioned, there are certain microbes which, because every day we are drinking 1.5 liters of saliva every day, the microbes in our mouth translate to different parts of the body, including the stomach, including small intestine, including esophagus, including your gut, right? So if you have a lot of these bacteria, like Cruciferous Vegetables or P. which is producing bad breath, right? It is another indication that you have certain these bacteria overactive and expressing certain genes, which is making you produce this bad breath, and there's a chance that these bacteria may move to your gut, which may increase your risk of irritable bowel syndrome, right? Or or H. pylori may move to your stomach, which may cause situations such as stomach infection, GERD, and acidic reflux issues, right? So it is not something should be avoided or not should be considered. It's only onion and garlic. Probably do not go for mouthwashes or chewing gums. These are all wrong way of addressing your issues such as halitosis, right? Again, halitosis is systemic halitosis is linked to various of systemic health issues. If you're taking mouthwash, probably it is going to trigger situations such as type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, right? High blood pressure issues, right? That's not so. Another thing I wanted to point out here is that certain microbes also convert glycoprotein. Glycoprotein again, is found in a lot of form of glucose, like sugar, and glycoprotein is something which also gets converted into certain polyamines which causes bad breath, right? So I think probably we discussed about glycoprotein earlier also that it is found in various
Yes,
foods.
yes. In one of our earlier talks, we've discussed that. So, okay, I think I would really want you to comment on what can an individual do to, prevent this halitosis, and if somebody is already going through this, so what can he do to actually reverse this? Because I'm pretty sure that bad breath is something which can be reversed. It is not a permanent problem, right?
No, nothing is permanent. So probably you don't understand the root cause. So essentially, when what we are doing, since we are the only one in Asia, probably decoding the functions of the oral microbiome, right? So when we look at your oral microbiome, when we digitize your oral biology, right? We look at various scores which I mentioned, such as oral H2S production, oral methyl mercaptan production, oral methionine production, oral polyamines production, and oral ammonia production. So the level of these metabolites released, because we quantify them, we measure and quantify them, right? So the level of these metabolites released indicates the whether you have halitosis or you are at the higher risk of a lower risk or medium risk. And then we probably based on this, we give you food recommendations which could actually rebalance your oral microbiome, bring your oral biology back into homeostasis position, right? Maybe suppress the activity of these microbes, right? And again, if you don't do it, probably we also see that the risk of IBD, so systemic halitosis and all these scores are part of risk of IBD, risk of GERD, right? So we look at all these things, right? So essentially, if you think you have digestive issues, right, it may not be because of issues in the gut or taking a probiotic, which is going to help, right? People, there are a lot of companies selling probiotics in terms of uh, claiming that you can get rid of digestion, bloating, constipation, a lot of these things. But what if it actually stems from the mouth, right? Because a lot of these microbes in the mouth could actually, I mentioned Fusobacterium nucleatum, right? It is one of these endotoxin, harmful bacteria which causes IBD, which is again causes halitosis, right? So it's so again understanding the functions of each of these microbiome and the pathways reactivate, stimulate or deactivate is really, really important to understand, right? And again, so if mouthwash you should not take, right? So if someone is really, really interested because the microbes in your mouth is virtually linked to all your oral health, your obesity, your type 2 diabetes, your cardiovascular disease, your brain health issues, your sexual health, right? And digestive issues, right? So probably you should not give it a miss. Probably you should. This is the first time in India. Probably we are actually uh, understanding the function of the microbes in the mouth, right? And trying to decode how they're connected with the overall health. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. And I think with this, we have come to the end of this discussion. And would you like to end this conclude this discussion with anything? I would really recommend if you give us some, tips and tricks, because what happens is, for an individual, right? Doing an analysis is obviously something that they should be doing in the first place. But
Mhm.
when it comes to, I'm pretty sure there must be some herbs which can help, immediately. Let's say if you're going for a meeting and if you feel that you have a bad breath, so what would you recommend to that such an individual during that point of time?
So first of the indication you have bad breath is you're not brushing or flossing well, right? So check your toothpaste, right? Again, your toothpaste should not have fluoride. We discussed this right earlier also, and we have seen a lot of people in different of our communities have mentioned that fluoride is actually they have got rid of fluoride and they're feeling better, right? And so first thing is pick up your toothpaste, right toothpaste probably it shouldn't have fluoride, it should not have, artificial sweeteners like aspartame and zaccharin and a lot of these, SLS and a lot of these things, right? Uh, you should be able to floss regularly once a day, right? Brush twice a day. Do not use mouthwashes, right? So in terms of herbs, there are different herbs. There are rosemary, there are oregano, right? So cloves, lot of these herbs which do help. But again, which specific herb your biology needs right now, it is something which you need to decode your oral biology to understand. Second thing is you should consume a lot of polyphenols, right? Lot of so again, sometimes citrus fruits also causes bad breath, right? So citrus fruits have polyamines, right? The citrus fruits. So again, if you're consuming too much of citrus fruits such as oranges, right? Probably try to reduce the consumption, right? And have a lot of polyphenols. The fitsign in strawberries do help, right? Pomegranate, cranberry juice, right? So a lot of these things do help. Resveratrol, so resveratrol grapes, not too much of it because again it is citrus, right? But there are other ways and means to get polyphenols and antioxidants, right, which really helps. Again, certain prebiotics, resistant starch, right? These all foods do help. Too much of protein could harm because some of these amino acids may be causing bad breath, as I mentioned about tyrosine, phenylalanine, and threonine and tryptophan. A lot of these could cause bad breath via ammonia production and via polyamines production. Yeah. So these are the few things. There's nothing called as universal healthy food or diet. So probably you can't assume if somehow is working for your friend or your wife, it will work for you as well, right? So these are few starting points, right? But obviously to understand which specific herb, specific polyphenol, which specific antioxidant, specific prebiotic you need, your body needs in what quantities, something you should evaluate your oral biology, measure your oral biology. Yeah.
So thank you. With this, we end this discussion here. And to all our listeners, I'm pretty sure you have been listening to all our talks. We are also available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And do check out our YouTube channel as well. We have all our videos over there. So thank you, Sushant, and have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
You too. Thank you.